Yes, well, cue the celebrations at the end in Kiev for Ajax of Amsterdam, who are back in the group stages of the Champions League for the first time in 4 years. You go back to their last time in those group stages, they had a nightmare draw. They were in the same group as PSG and Barcelona, which is never good, and they'll hope for a better fate when the draw is made on Thursday at 5 o'clock. Damien, they could have won that match several times over. They were by far the superior team.
Yeah, it could have been 7-8, 9-0, and that's no exaggeration. They just lacked that cutting edge in front of goal, especially Huntelaar, who's been prolific throughout the years. And the worrying thing, I guess, for Kiev going forward is Ajax, for me, still had another couple of gears in them. If you watch last week's tie, Kiev were awful. But Ajax, young, classy team, cool in possession and create an awful lot of chances. So I do look forward to watching them in the group stages.
And Kevin, their failure to take those chances, is that something that would worry you about them when they go into the group stages? No,
Huntelaar, 300 and something odd goals. You know, he'll take those the next day. You know, and he was there. They created chances. They created numerous. You know, no worry, they'll go in the next. There was some unlucky things happening, clear off the line and hitting their own players on the line. Could have had a couple more penalties. They were actually a joy to watch. They played really good football. They've got some really young players, not afraid to put in young players and play. A couple of old heads thrown in there for a bit of experience down the middle. But no, as Damien said, they'll be a joy to watch going on the tournament. It's nice to see a young team playing some good football. Yeah, now we know, we've mentioned about the young players there. Both of you were very taken with the spine of their team, the solidity of it, the experience that's there with the younger players, which is kind of very much the Ajax way, isn't it? Yeah, it seems to be. You know, they had a lot of young players, and they've added Huntelaar, Tadic, Shona, and bringing in Daley Blind, spending a lot of money on him. They spent a few pounds this summer to try make the group stages, and they've gone and done that. You know, Tadic's been excellent through these qualifiers, and they've gone to group stage first time in 4 years. But they'll be good going forward. I think they've well worth it, and I think they'll be a match for other people in their group. And we were talking as well, Damien, about the coach, Erik ten Hag. Like, he was a player with FC 20 and Utrecht. He worked with Guardiola in Bayern Munich. It's unusual for him at Ajax, though, because he's not one of their own. They normally, and they like to promote from within to coach their teams. He's not one of their own, but in a roundabout way he is, because Ten Hag is a disciple of Pep from Bayern Munich. For me, Pep's obviously a disciple of Cruyff from Ajax. Cruyff's a disciple of Rinus Michels from Ajax, obviously, as well. So in a roundabout way, he is one of their own. You can see he wants to play that way, 4-3-3, wingers high and wide, tempo, energy, cool in possession, and he fits the bill down there. So the one thing for me, this is a bonus getting into the Champions League group stage. He needs to get back to start winning leagues. They came second last season. I know he's only in the job 6 months, but that's their bread and butter. They haven't won since 2014. For me, Ajax, even though, yeah, you can't compare them to Real Madrid, etc., but they're one of the biggest clubs in the world because of what they created. Football philosophies, 4-3-3, etc., was born there. OK, let's look at the chances, Kevin, that Ajax created, and we could fill the next 6-7 minutes with the chances alone. So we've subbed them down a bit. We've cut them down. I think it was 26 odd chances. This one was a ball into Van Beek. He slips just at the crucial moment there. This was right at the start of the second half, and it was wave after wave after wave. This gets out to Tadic, who was better in the second half. He started putting in some good balls, chopping inside, but he hangs it up, and it's Missouri up from right back, who had a really good game as well. Another 20-year-old, very good save from Boko there. The free kick from Ziyech, who was their best player on the night. Every time he got the ball, Kiev either hacked him down or he created something. Here's a true ball to Tadic again. Tadic a bit slow to get it out of his feet and intercepted. This one, is it Tadic down the line. Huntelaar, great movement, and he's unlucky, in fairness, on that one not to score. It was a good attempt, good save from the keeper. Out to Tadic again. Great ball across. And Huntelaar is just a bit slow late in the game. He's 35. His legs were probably showing there. He didn't react like he would have wanted to. The 300 and other odd goals, we'll forgive him for that one. Exactly, you have to let him away with the odd night like that. Damien, Kiev overall, like, really, they were disappointing. Sure, they lost the first game 3-1. We hoped that they'd start, from a neutral point of view, start big in the second half, and it just didn't happen. Yeah, I think disappointing's being kind. I was very disappointed. They huffed, they puffed, and their quality around the box
was awful for me. They qualified 17 times for the group stages of the Champions League, and thank God they haven't qualified an 18th time, because they'd be dismal, I think, going in against the big hitters. They obviously go straight into Europa League, and will they threaten? Absolutely not. Here they are again around the edge of the box. You know, no end product, no picture of what's going on, trying to force passes, albeit a great shape, you'd have to say, from Ajax. And I think this sums it up here. Thinks he's being clever, a little flick around the corner. Awful. So, like I said, Ajax never got out of third gear and still should have won by 7 or 8 for me.
Yeah, and in that third gear, Kevin, the way they kept the ball so well, like long passages of possession.
They call it the Ajax way or whatever, and we picked out one clip to show just, you know, and what I liked about it, it was a 21-year-old, a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old and a 21-year-old here. It wasn't the older heads here. This is the league, the captain. He's 19, under pressure, playing out to Missouri, a 20-year-old. You know, it's just into another 21-year-old Van de Beek, and it was just a joy to see players so comfortable on the ball, passing out. I think the 15 or 16 passes here. It doesn't actually end up creating a chance, but it was just showing, you know, a general view of this is how Ajax play. Calm, collected. They were being closed pretty hard there, pressed, and you know, there was no huffing the ball down the pitch there. It was all, you could see their style of play, their philosophy all in that one clip. And Damien, this fella, the Ajax midfielder De Jong, came into the match with a big valuation. You were talking about hearing fees of up to 50 million, interest from Barcelona. Like, he did himself no harm at all tonight, did he?
Yeah, it'd be 60 or 70 if people are listening to me tonight, picking him up. Here we go again, the second time round. But, you know, you'd think I'm his agent or a scout for Barcelona, but, you know, for me, he's just brilliant at playing things simple. Great position there defensively, drops back in between the centre halves. And, you know, I think it's underrated. It's simple passes. He just keeps them ticking over all the time. Will take the ball absolutely anywhere. And a lovely dinked pass out there to the right wing, out to Mauzaoui. And, you know, keeps them ticking over, like I said, all the time. Always willing to play forward, which opens up space for the rest of his team. Again, willing to do the defensive work. Great position. And he's not small either. He's easily pushing 6 foot. And this sums him up here as well. Under pressure, number 10, Yarmolenko, pressing him and cool as ice to get out. And the reason I say simple is I think it's Johan Cruyff, his famous quote, and his quote is, "Soccer is simple, but it is difficult to play simple." But I think he's absolutely brilliant at playing simple football. And if you think about Barcelona, Manchester City, yeah, they're amazing at certain things, but they're absolutely brilliant at just playing simple football, the most obvious pass. And that's him in a nutshell for me. So I could see him, he's getting linked to Barcelona for 50 million. I could easily see him fitting in there.
Well, if Ajax are going to do some damage in the competition, they need to keep him. Yeah, and we're saying simple. It's all simple. But if you look, for anyone watching, they're all forward passes. He's not just going backwards for the sake of it or going sideways. He's a holding midfielder. It's so easy for holding midfielders. You see it, they just go backwards, give it to the keeper, give it to centre half, let them deal with it. He's going forward, looking forward to every opportunity for a young 19-year-old. It's good to see. Worth every penny, 70 million. It's going up by the minute. Well, the way football is going, you know, at that age, showing that sort of maturity and playing that well in a Champions League qualifier, you know, why not? Yeah, he's one to watch out for in the group stages. Don't forget, of course, the draw takes place on Thursday at 5. And thanks to Kevin and Damien for their company here in studio. Ajax through to the group stages for the first time in 4 years.